Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And today we are still playing a little catch up, and we will be making an art page with the February Paletteful Packs box. And February's theme was oil pastels. And there's a piece of art on the other side that somebody has drawn using oil pastels. So this is a really cool box. I'll show you everything that comes in it. First of all, we get a pad of mixed media paper with a vellum surface. It's 140 pound. Every box that we get some paper or other item on which to do our art, so we're not left to our own devices. However, I will be working in my art journal, and so oil pastels was the theme, and so we got a pack of 24 Faber-Castell oil pencils. Is that what they call them? Oh, oil pastels. Okay, sorry. So I have lots of oil pastels and I am used to using them. But all the ones that I have are very old, and it is very nice to have a brand spanking new set of oil pastels, which are Faber-Castell. And there we can see the glory of the colors, and there's the whole rainbow there. Nothing you could want. Starts with black and gray, browns and peach, so I guess you can say flesh tones, greens, blues, purples, pinks, a red, could be two reds or it could be two oranges, yellow, and white. So we've got the whole Roy G. Biv plus flesh tones, black and white. So we will keep the lid for that. Just put that aside for a moment. Those are what I will be using. And we also got a few things to use. We got an artist's chamois, and this is for blending and rubbing. And this is a 5x7 piece, like that. And this is how I'm used to using oil pastels, is that I blend them. So for blending, we also got two very thick stumps. I have a drawer full of these, but I do have to say that most of my stumps are the thinner, smaller ones. So these are a nice addition to my stash. Then we get a Tombow Mono graphic pencil, and pretty often in every one of these boxes we either get a pencil for sketching or we get a black fine liner for drawing. So Tombow pencil, which I probably will not be using today. And then we get a Sharpie China marker, and I have been wanting one of these forever to try using in my art. I use all sorts of different smudgeable blacks, but I've never used a China marker in my art. I mean, I have used China markers like for garage sales and stuff, but yeah, I'm quite interested in using this and seeing how it works with the oil pastels. There we go. And then we also got a white one, and it is also Sharpie. I don't think I've ever seen a white China marker, so I was a little surprised to see that. And then, not finally, but almost finally, we got a jar of terpenoid, which is a natural substitute for turpentine, which is used to blend oil pastels. Since they're oil, you can't use anything that's water-based to turn them into like paint or blend them or whatever, because of course oil and water don't mix. But artists have typically used turpentine, but that is such a harsh chemical. We now have this, which is non-toxic and non-flammable, and can be used with oil paints as well as oil pastels. It can also be used as a brush cleaner. And because we have the liquid terpenoid, we have been given a brush, and I'm ecstatic about this brush. It's a Princeton, which is pretty much what Paletteful packs, I was going to call it pastel packs. Paletteful packs usually sends us Princetons, so we end up, when you belong to them, you end up with a nice collection of Princetons. This is a Snap 4, and it is a very long one and has a flat tip, and it's very very firm. I'm really looking forward to using this. I am not an expert in using long brushes, so I'm not sure if you're supposed to hold it down like this or if you're supposed to, I guess it all depends on what you're doing. Yeah, well, we'll try that out. So that is what came in the February oil pastel themed Paletteful Packs box. Now, I have no idea, well, I shouldn't say I have no idea, because I do have a vague idea of what I'm going to do, but what it looks like in the end is going to be a surprise to us all. I have my box of collage fodder over to the side here. There's no room to get it into the screen. I've been through it, and I picked this as my focal image. As soon as I saw this, I knew I was going to use it because some words came to me as to what goes with it, and you'll see that as it goes on. So we'll move that out of the way for now because we don't need it. Alright, while we work here, I will be sipping my Twisted Mango Coke. Has anybody else tried all the new flavors of Diet Coke? I have to say I love them all. This Twisted Mango after the cherry is my favorite, and when I saw it I thought, OMG, that is going to be so gross. But I tried it and I love it. So enough about my drink. I will be editing out the blow drying and things that take me a bit of time, so just so you know that beforehand. Alright, so let's dive right in with the pastels. Now, I'm going to get my color palette from the picture. So we want dark blue, and I think I can grab a paper out of here so we can test them. Let's see. Do I want that one, or do I want this one? Okay, yeah, I want that one over here. So I want that. I want something lighter. That's turquoise, I think. Yep, okay, and then we've got purple and pink in there. So I've got one purple, which I do not like. Okay, this is our dark pink, or could be a light purple, I'm thinking. Yes, okay. So that goes definitely. But I wonder what would happen if I put the pink on top of the blue. Is that going to blend out like... I like that actually. Okay, so we've got those colors. Those are going to be my main... Oh, some black. Hey, I don't know if I want to darken it up with black or not. I'm going to keep the black out, or actually, you know what I'll do? I will use this China marker. So let's just check this and see how it works. And now, does that blend? Yes, it's blendable. Will it write on top of an oil pastel? Yes, it does. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's try the white one. Does the white write on top of the black? Okay, it does. It's not fantastic, but we'll try that out. And as I said, I am not using the pencil, so I'm going to put that aside. And let's open up the stumps because I will use one of those. Okay, so put one right here, and I think I have my stumps. Yep, my stumps are stored right over here, so put that one away. Okay, I'm just going to put those on top there because they do leave a mark. Okay, so here's my supplies for blending. I've got the chamois, I've got the turpenoid. Now I'm wondering if I should pour it out or just work from the bottle. I don't really have anything handy to pour it into. Though I'm afraid if I use the bottle I'll knock it over. Does my brush go in? Brush goes in nicely. Okay, don't do this at home, folks, but I am going to work straight out of the bottle, and let's hope I don't knock it over and waste it all. So, let's start by putting down some color. So, I have prepped the page with putting some tape down the center. Now, I couldn't for the life of me find my masking tape. I have since bought new masking tape and found the old one, but instead I used some medical fabric tape here, which is going to give us some texture, and gessoed over it. So, let's go with adding some color here. Okay, so let's start with that, and now let's try the different blending techniques and see what happens. Okay, so that's lightening it up. I know how blending stump works, and I wouldn't use it for this, so let's go ahead and use the turpenoid. I am really excited to see how this works. Oh, there we go. So it goes quite a glaze. Okay, so if we push hard and really scrub at it, it does get rid of the marks. Now here's my dilemma, is will washing my brush in water have any effect? Okay, I like that. See, now we've got paint that we're working with here. Now I want to go back. I'm dipping it in water, which I know is stupid to do with an oil pastel, but I don't want to waste the bit of the turpenoid. I was looking it up though, and it is available on Amazon. You can buy a small size like they've given here, right up to great big jugs of it. So if I like how it works, I'm going to get some because I've been looking for this. So let's start with the lightest color, then the pink, then the other blue. Okay, so smush that around. And how does it work over here on the surface? Okay, yeah, it's working too. You really have to, scrub. Okay, so now let's go into the pink. I didn't put the pink down heavy enough. I'm not too worried about this piece here. I just want to get some on because I am going to make a frame. Okay, so that's looking a little bit muddy, and I'm using a baby wipe to clean off my brush, which is working really well. These are just dollar store ones. Okay, let's lay down some color now, really solidly. Okay, so I'm going to finish the page by laying down the color for the background, and I will be back with you when I'm finished because you don't need to watch me doing this. It's going to take a little while because I'm using some pressure and I'm filling in so that I don't get those marks. Okay, so back with you when the page is full. Back. I have added color to the whole page. Now we are going to use the turpenoid and we are going to blend all this in. I'm going to go color by color, and I think I'll start with the pink, the turquoise, then the blue. So let's do the pink. Get the hang of this. Seems like if I go in circles, and then in painterly lines. I have no idea if I'm using this correctly. I'm just making this up as I go along, which is the way I like to try things. Then I can get a feel for it, and then I'll watch some YouTube videos to see how it's really supposed to be used. But then I will kind of know what they're talking about because I'll have tried this stuff. So I'll know what they're talking about when they say, well, this doesn't work and this does work and all that sort of thing. So my paintbrush is getting quite a nice foam of color on it. I'm not worried about going to the edges. So yeah, the circular motions get rid of the drawing lines. And I can see why they sent us such a stiff brush, because this is taking a beating. Okay, and then we'll go like that. Okay, so I'm just going to clean my brush, and we will start the second color, and then I will come back to you because it's boring just sitting there watching me paint. But let's try the second color and see how that blends in. We will do the turquoise, so a bit of that. And now I'm blending it into that pink because it's already been worked. Staying away from the dark blue though. Okay, so yeah, this is going to work. It's going to take some brush strokes. And I am going to do this off camera now. And I will be back with you when I have the whole page painted. Back, I have my color down. Now, what it needs is some blending. I haven't tried it. And I think that we will just try together. We will try together the various ways of blending. So first of all, let's use the obvious and use the chamois. Let's rub together here and see what happens. It's kind of drying. Seems to be taking off more paint than it does to be rubbing it in. So let's try the blender. I just want to do this with the lightest colors first. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to need to have it dry. So I am going to see if my heat gun will dry oil pastels, and I will be back with you. But it is, I don't know what the word is. It's more thicker, oily. So let's try the chamois again. Oh, that's working. That's working. It's blending the colors in. Now, this is my background, so it doesn't need to be pretty and perfect and precious. Oh, that's working really nicely. Yeah, okay. Let's try a stump on this part just to see. I do know how to use a stump, but I use it differently with oil pastels. I've never used this turpenoid before. It's working too. If this is all you have, then go for it, but I like the chamois the best for these large areas. Now it blended really nicely over here on the cloth, just scrubbing it in. And you know, I'm gonna just kind of go over everything, blend that in. Yeah. Well, at times it removes the color more than it is blending it. You just gotta, see, I find when you work in circles it just works better. And it works better on the darker colors than the lighter ones. Like this pink is hard to work with, while the dark blue is easy, and the medium blue is not bad. Now over here it's very dry. That works the best. So instead of using a heat gun, I'm going to have to say it probably would have been better to let it air dry, but I do not have the patience to let anything air dry. Okay, we're getting little bits on it now. Now let's just blend this one in a bit more. Okay, let's see what's going to be covered up by the picture, which is quite large here. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that. It's not looking beautiful right now. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is making a frame. And this is what I normally do when I do these kinds of things. Okay, so I make a black frame, and I don't work on making it straight. Now my picture is going to go in there like that. So what we're going to do now is we are going to collage bits of paper around the outside. I'm going to try and stick with the blue and pink theme, but we will allow other colors in there too. So let's see, first of all I've got some of this. Put that up. Okay, so there's some pink. Oh, this piece here has some green on it. Oh, the green and blue on that side too. I'll take both pieces. So I'll rip up this. And then this one will be this side. Okay, now I'm looking to see if I have any pictures that use the color. I just found this, which doesn't really, it has a little bit of blue and a lot of purple, but when I put it against her dress, it is, the purple's in there, which I haven't really got in my background, so I'm definitely going to use this. Okay, so now what I do is, I'm going to take a different brush, and I am using up the last bit of perfect paper adhesive that I have here, and we are going to collage the frame. And I leave little spaces sometimes. Sometimes I don't. So one thing I'm noticing is that it is not picking up the color. I'm trying to stay away from the black though, because I don't want to. I don't want to wreck it by getting black into the thing. No, I don't want these big white parts. So they don't all go sideways. This one's got a straight edge, so fairly straight, so I'll put it up there. Okay, so I am going to do this around the whole entire border. So I will go do this off camera so that you don't get bored of watching me glue little bits of paper. Okay, so I'll be back when I'm finished. So I have glued around my frame right now. Now, you'll notice I've gone over the edges. I've also not gone up to the edge, and there are still white spaces. And I have left blank spaces in here, so that the color, the background is showing through. The important thing to do when making the frame is to not go over the black line that you made. If you go over it just a smidge, that's okay, because we will be revisiting that. But at this point, I have my frame made, so I'm going to dry it with my heat gun, and then I am going to trim off all the edges. So I'll be back in a sec. I'm back. And that is the border pieces done in the frame. So now we're still working on the frame, and what I will be doing is going through my collage fodder. Let's grab a stack here. And I've got lots of vintage black and white stuff in this packet that I'm working with right now. So what I'm looking for is little tiny pictures to put into the border. Now I was saving these animals to use in a border, but just want me to save that. But no, that's not what I want. No, she's too big. That's too big. Well, we've got the camera. Actually, I like that ad too much. Okay, here we go. These little girls here. I'm not making a big deal of how I cut them out. Some of them I will fussy cut around, and some of them I will make into squares. I think we'll make this one into a square when I can show you. And I'm going to do their feet too, or at least this girl's bottom half. See, they don't have to be pictures that make sense. We're just adding something for the eye to register. There. Okay. Now that's another one that I want to keep. He's too big. And we don't want just people. That's interesting. Green's lawn mowers. I like that. No, I'm not being precious cutting this out. Okay. That would look cute in the corner, I think. Here's some fancy writing on the back of that, so I'm going to keep it. Ooh, a shoe. Oh, no, I can't cut that. I need the lingerie ladies. More people. Here we go. Here's a shoe. Alright, let's take one of these. And I will fussy cut it a bit. Give it a bit of a border. Am I cutting on screen? Okay. Sorry if I went off screen there. Okay, and let's put the shoe in that corner. Okay, so now we don't want too much. I'm just going to look for a couple of things that aren't people. Okay, I like this. This is cool. These stairs. Okay, so I'm going to put these stairs in this corner here. Let's move the shoe to up here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I need one more because I need to have odd numbers. That's the way I work. Everything has to be an odd number. Okay, so I want something that's not a person. That's what I'm looking for. I just used up that hole. I know it's silly, but I'm going to put this guy in. I don't want to get more out, so I'm not going to fussy cut him. Just make him a rectangle. Okay, and he can go here. So some of them line up with the edge of your line, and some of them line up with the edge of your paper. Alright, so now we're going to glue. Glue brush. Now we're going to glue those guys down. And I'll be back once I've done that. So there we go. I have glued them on. I dried it, and then I clipped off a little bit that went over the edge. Okay, now I am going to try, no I'm not. Okay, next thing to do is to get our black, and we're going to go over it. And we want to go really, really dark, and to cover up any pieces that are touching the line, so that we're breaking them into so that they are blending into the page, covering up the edges of them. Now that's gonna, oh no it's not, that's where my picture is gonna go, so I need to put that back in. Okay, so I have no white bits now because I've covered them all in. I do have blank spaces. Now we are going to get our pastels. We're going to get matching colors. Well, not matching colors, the colors we used. I shouldn't have put them away. And now, those to the side, using the darkest color that you used, we are going to cover up all the edges of where pieces join each other and stuff like that. We don't have to go around the pictures, but just where pieces match. And you're covering up those lines. Now that's white, so I'm going to actually color in the whole thing. Okay, so I'll put that one away. I'm not going to use it again. Now, this is, we're going to use our blending stump, and we're going to go over those and just blend them in. We are going to do this with the black too, but not yet. Okay, so I am going to do this off camera, and I will come back once I have done it. Okay, see you back. Now we're going to take the other two colors and we're going to do some doodling and some mark making and stuff inside those sections that we've just separated now. You can do things like follow the outline of the pattern that's there. You can do things like put a big X on it. Do things like making lines. Looks like an H. Circles, a dot in the middle, and the next line through it. Like an asterisk. You can even go over the pictures. I just made a line on that one. Let's do some zigzags. This one, I think I will just cross out his body. And let's do some zigzags again. X. X's are my favorite thing to do, but yeah, just, let's just put some dots. And how about let's do lines that way, and then we'll do lines this way with this color. So I'm filling in every one with some kind of marking. And also on the pictures too. Got that one. Otherwise, if you don't do it on the stickers, on the pictures, they will stick out. Okay, now this is white here, so I'm filling it in. And then I'll go over the lines in this patterned paper. And let's just make some little doodads and some more in this. Okay, let's circle him. Okay, so what can I do? There. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our stump and we're going to blend in all those marks that we just made. And then we're going to do the black. But let's do the marks first. You might want to do it one color at a time if you're being precious, but the whole look of this is supposed to be grungy, so I am not bothering. Now I've left some white there again, so just pick up some color and slop it in there. Okay, so I think I've got the hang of what I'm doing here. So I will do this off screen, and again I'm coloring up this white. Any white bits that are left, just pick up some color from somewhere, put it in. So I will finish up this off screen and I will be back. I haven't done the black yet. I thought I would do that with you on screen so you could see how we are now going to blend all this in. Going over the paper in the frames and blending out into the surface area. Now I developed this style. I used to do this a lot. It's been a long time since I did one of these. Well, for a while there, it was kind of like everything I did. But I got the frame idea, obviously, from Tisha Moore. But as far as I know, I didn't get all the pastel work. I just came up with that on my own. Sometimes I use water-soluble crayons instead of oil pastels. And actually, I'd probably use them more because I knew how to blend them. Could use that terpenoid. You could try that on here. But I'm used to using a stump for this. Blend it in really nice. And here I'm kind of like squaring it off within the boundaries that I've given myself. I don't want it to be perfect geometric square. But yeah, there. We're done. So now, the next thing is to put your image in. And for this type of collage, it's best to start off with the image so that you can make everything fit. Okay, and so the image is going to go inside the frame. And line up some part of it. It's okay if it goes up off of the page in one area, as long as some of it is lined up with the frame so that it looks like it's in the frame and there's a little bit, you know, hanging off. I am very fortunate because top of her head comes to the top of my black line, and I did not plan that at all, except for you saw me at the beginning place it down where I was going to put it, and that was all. Okay, so now it is back to gluing. So we are going to glue her up, and one thing is, don't use a glue stick for this. You won't be able to write on top of all the papers and stuff. Normally when I do this kind of collage, I just use a painty background, but I know that I am definitely going to be exploring using the terpenoid with the oil pastels now that I've tried it. I just never really could be bothered to try it before because I didn't want to buy it and then find out that for some reason for me it didn't really work. And let's decoupage her by going over so it's sticking properly. There we go. And so anyway, so far I'm finding that everything is sticking to the oil pastel that I went over with the terpenoid. It got rid of that oily feeling. Like, it still feels a little like slick. It has a different feel to it than paint. Okay, so I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to go look up my quote that I'm going to put on here to make sure I get the words in the right order. Be back. Now, with a light color, we are going to go around the outside of the image. This is where I'm going to use the white China marker. See how that works. Ooh, I love it. Oh, it writes on. Oops. Well, I didn't dry that well enough. Be careful. It writes on the magazine paper. This is an old magazine. I picture those from a magazine from the 70s, and it's not exactly glossy to begin with. It's a little glossy. Or it was. Not now. So yeah, we're blending that in. You can use any color that you want here. I usually find myself using white. Yeah, I'm ripping her hair a bit, but you know what? I don't care. It's just grunging it. And here we can go outside of the frame because her hair does. Okay, so her hair wasn't quite dry enough for that, and I don't think it went out far enough, so I'm just gonna go around. Well, yeah, I really like the grunge look, so if I'm working and something happens that I didn't do on purpose, I just figure that it just distressed itself. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. I like using the china marker. It worked well. Yeah, it has a nice texture to it too. Okay, so I am actually, what happened to the pencil that they gave me? Oh, everything's such a mess. I don't know where it is. Well, just let me grab any old pencil then. Okay, so I've got a Derwent Precision 0.5. Now I am going to sketch in my saying, and I will do that off screen because you won't even be able to see it show up. So I have my words written on there in pencil, and now normally I go over them with a fine liner, but I do not know how that will work on this pastel, and I really don't think it will. So I'm going to use the black china marker, and we're going to go over the words. Sorry, I don't have anything to say. I have to kind of concentrate when I do these letters because I'm not very good at it. And I am really liking the black china marker. Just so you know that when I'm going over my pencil letters, I'm not following them exactly. I'm just using them as a guide, going over the pencil marks, but adding to them and making them bigger where I have room. as you can see, I am not being delicate with my lettering. It's basically scribble writing, trying to give them a bit of a sloppy 3D look to them. But when you're using something as thick as the giant marker, I can't do what I usually, this kind of style I usually do. Okay, so now I got one little problem, and that's that this bit right here is not sticking. So I'm going to put that down and tell it to behave. Okay, and then in this case I do not do an outer border. I find it kind of like closes it in, makes it look like it should be a picture on the wall. So there we go. That is the piece of work that I have made from the February Paletteful Packs oil pastel themed pack, and I really enjoyed working with these supplies. So thank you for joining me. If you made it this far, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe down below, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And I just found out how important that is today, because I was watching some of the new videos that showed up in my subscriptions, and as I was watching one in the sidebar, one of the people that I was subscribed to, this video came up as being new, but it wasn't listed in my subscriptions. So I went over, I thought, oh, maybe it's just been up for a couple of minutes, you know. So I went over, no, it'd been over there for half an hour, but I hadn't been notified. So it really does matter about ringing that bell. You don't have to watch the video, but ring the bell, and then that way you will know that the person you're following has put up a new video. So, again, thanks for watching me, and I hope you enjoyed my piece of work. Bye!